Hey there, Norman here from WoCode, and today we're going to be taking a look at the FX Particles widget. The FX Particles widget displays a complex pattern of dots with interconnecting lines. The patterns interact, giving the site visitor a unique ability to influence these organic geometric shapes as they move and evolve. So let's go ahead and jump into the builder here and take a look at how to set this widget up. Here in the builder, we have our digital agency template. And if we scroll down here to the Teams section, I'd like to liven up this section's background to provide some color and movement to the site. And the FX Particles widget will be just perfect for doing that. So let's go ahead and open up the Widgets panel here on the left side. Let's grab that FX Particles widget and let's drop that right into this row. Okay, and with that widget added to the page, I'd just like to take note that this black placeholder widget will not be visible on the published site. It will only be visible within the builder and the preview URL. So now before we jump into the widgets options panel, I'm just going to scroll up slightly here and I'm going to delete this container that contains this angled triangle effect as we won't need it for this demonstration. Okay, with that deleted, now we can open up the widgets panel here. And starting in the Content tab, we have a couple options. Starting from the top and working our way down, we have the Apply To drop-down option. This drop-down provides multiple options for how you choose to apply the effect. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory, but there were a few that I did want to highlight. For this example, we're going to keep this on current row, but I wanted to highlight the entire page option, which applies the effect to the background of the entire page. In this case, the widget may be placed anywhere on the page except the header or footer. Placing the widget in the header or footer will result in the effect being applied to the entire site. It's also worth noting that due to this widget being so GPU heavy, it's only recommended to use the entire page option on short pages, as longer pages with entire page enabled will see reduced page speed. Next, below that, I wanted to highlight the custom CSS Selector option. This is an advanced option that allows you to target elements using their CSS class or ID. This is useful for when trying to apply the effect to backgrounds of things where a widget cannot be placed, such as a gallery or a slideshow. We can click out of that, move on down to the mouse control option. This option enables an animation that moves the background when it's hovered by a mouse. And below that, we have the touch control. This option enables an animation that moves the background when it is tapped while the user is on a touchscreen device. And that's going to do it for the Content tab. Let's jump over into the Design tab and take a look at how to style this widget. Here in the Design tab, we have a few options starting from the top and working our way down. The first one is the minimum dimensions options. Clicking this dropdown gives us two choices. We have automatic. This automatically sets the width of the widget's container to be the same width as the row or column the widget is currently in. And then we also have the custom option. This forces the width of the widget container to be something other than the width of the row or column the widget's currently in. We could leave this on automatic. Working down from there, we have show dots. This will enable or disable the dots in the widget. If we turn that off, we can see that those dots are no longer visible, but we'll enable those for this demonstration. Below this, we have the points amount. This sets the amount of points that are generated within the effect. Below that, we have max distance. This sets the distance in which the lines are connected. Next, we have polygon spacing. This sets the space between the polygon lines. Scrolling down below that, we have the dots and line color. This sets the color of the lines and the dots. And then we have the background color. This sets the background color behind the dots and line. Taking a look at this background with this default settings, it actually looks pretty great right out of the box. So I'm just going to leave these settings on default. So we can close this widget and we can grab our preview URL. Now, if we scroll down to that section that we added the widget to, we can see that the FX Particles widget is looking great and has that nice subtle animated background in the row. And if we hover over this row, we can see the effect reacts and moves in response to the mouse. One thing to note, once again, is that this black placeholder widget will not be visible within the live site. It's only visible in the builder or on the preview URL. And that is it for the FX Particles widget. As you can see, it's a very simple widget, but one that adds a ton of character and some nice subtle movement to any site. With that being said, my name is Norman Durkee, and you've been rocking with the best website builder platform on the planet, wocode.com. And until next time, and as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to support. We're always here to help.